What's up, everyone? This is Nate, and I am back with another top 10 list. Now, I've already given you my top 10 most underrated movies of 2023. Then I gave you my most disappointing movies of 2023, or actually in the other order. And now I'm going to be giving you my least favorite movies of the year. These were the 10 movies that I saw that I absolutely hated, did not enjoy, did not like. I'm going to give you what those were for me. I'm leading up to my top 10 best of 2023 next week. But before I go ahead and start the list, if you would, please consider subscribing to the channel if you're not already. Hit the bell icon, that way you get notified every time new videos drop. And give me a thumbs up down below, helps the video. And leave me a comment. What are some movies that you saw this year that you hated, or if you liked any on my list, let me know. Nate, you're wrong. I'm sure there's one or two on here that I know for a fact that people like, but not me. All right, so I'm just going to go through these. Some of these are very small movies, and I still didn't like them. Like, they were still that bad, but a couple of them were kind of smaller, lesser-known movies. Starting with number 10, it's a movie called Divinity. It's in black and white, and it stars Stephen Dorff, and Bella Thorne is in it, and it's horrible. The reason I saw it is because it said Steven Soderbergh was presenting it. I think he was maybe like an executive producer or something. I like Steven Soderbergh. I said, oh, maybe he found some new filmmaker who's really going to make something cool. And what I got was a really experimental, weird, black and white sci-fi movie. There's some like claymation fight scenes in this, and I could not get into it at all. I was the only person in my theater when I went to see it, and I didn't like it. I did not like it. It was a bad experience. So yeah, that was one of the worst movies I saw this year. That's my number 10. Number 9 is a movie that I know people like. It's a movie called Bottoms. It's a comedy. I didn't laugh one time at this movie. I did not think it was funny. It's not my sense of humor or style of humor. Maybe I'm too old for this movie. I don't know. I was not a fan. I didn't find it funny. I didn't like the storyline. I didn't like anything about it, really. I saw the Rotten Tomato scores were crazy high. I should say the reviews were really good for it, and I didn't agree. So Bottoms is at the bottom of my list. So that's my number 9. Number 8, another small one. I don't know of a lot of people that saw this. It's a movie called She Came from the Woods. It's like a little low budget movie that came out early in the year. I think I saw this in January when they kind of dump out movies, random movies. And this was one of the ones I saw because I do like to check out horror. It was rated R. And it is exactly what you would expect from a low budget horror movie that comes out in January, which is to say it's not that great. It's a witch movie. It has to do with a witch that comes from the woods. And there's like teens at this camp. And it just is not for me, not my kind of horror that I enjoy. It definitely felt like a direct-to-video type movie that just happened to be in a theater. Not one that I like. I barely even remember seeing it, but when I was going through everything I watched this year and I read my little review for it, I was like, oh yeah, this was horrible. So She Came from the Woods. Number 8. Number 7. The Marvels. I was not excited for the movie anyway. You know, I try to give everything a fair shake. Go into it. I know I didn't like Captain Marvel that much, but maybe they'll do better now. MCU on a decline. So I had low expectations, and they were somehow not only met, but they went even lower. Like, it was worse than I thought it was going to be. It's not entertaining. It's not funny. The storyline's not good. I thought Kamala Khan, she's the best character in the whole movie. And I know nothing about her because I didn't watch that show. Like, you have to watch all these TV shows to know all these characters. Like, I don't got time. Like, just make a good movie on its own. And this movie's not it. And it was terrible. The villain is terrible. The CGI is terrible. It's not very good. So that's why it made my list at number 7. Number 6, another one that was supposed to be kind of had some buzz, but not good. The Exorcist Believer. Not scary. All right. I saw this movie with a friend of mine who's scared. She's scared of stuff. Was not scared. Not scared at all. They tried to put, all these different religions in, and they're all going to do the exorcism together and all this stuff. And there's not really spoilers. And it just doesn't work. Like, the story doesn't work. It's not scary. I thought that the girls, the actresses, like, they did pretty good. And then they brought back Ellen Burstyn for just the worst, which makes all the worst decisions. They made her look really dumb and bad and stupid. So Exorcist, David Gordon Green, just stop. I don't even hate him as a filmmaker. I like his comedies. I do not like his horror. Just stop. Don't do anymore, please. My number 5. Now, this is one that I know has some fans. It's because it's A24, and it's Ari Aster, and it's Beau is Afraid. 3 hours long. Joaquin Phoenix is good. I think Joaquin Phoenix's performance is good. Everything else about the movie, I did not enjoy. Ari Aster is not really a filmmaker that moves the needle for me. Like, I know everyone loves Hereditary. I'm not crazy with that movie. I think it's fine. Midsommar, like I don't really care. And now this just adds to this. Like he's not a filmmaker I'm very excited about or that I get excited for his movies. I think he's talented, but for me, he hasn't made anything that really has hit me yet. So this is just another one. This is worse than the other two, though. I'd watch either of his other two movies over Beau is Afraid. Like I did not like this movie at all. And it's way too long and weird and wasn't a fan. Number 4, this will be short, Asteroid City, Wes Anderson. I do not like Wes Anderson. I went to see it because, I don't know, I'm a sucker. And I'm like, wow, look, he has another great cast full of a bunch of people I like. Let me give him one more try. And I walked out. So I did not like Asteroid City. I left early. And this tells you something. The fact that it's number 4, I couldn't even finish it. The other 3 are somehow worse. So my number 3 is a movie starring Charlie Day. I think he wrote it and directed it too, called Fool's Paradise. This was supposed to be a comedy. Another one that was supposed to be a comedy. And I did not laugh one time. He's assembled a great cast. Adrian Brody is in this. He stars in it, of course. Ray Liotta is in it. Kate Beckinsale. Jason Sudeikis pops up in this. Ken Jeong. Like a bunch of funny people who are not funny at all in this movie. It's about a guy who's he's an actor, and then there's a homeless guy who's like silent that looks just like him, and all of a sudden they hire the homeless guy who can't talk to be his like replacement, and he becomes famous even though he can't talk. And it's so far-fetched, and it's not funny. I see what they're trying to do, kind of like satirizing Hollywood, but it was bad. It is a horrible, horrible movie. My number 2, Children of the Corn. Now, this was a movie that was made apparently like in 2020 or 2019. I don't know. It was made a couple years ago. Just got a release this year. And goodness gracious, they should have left it wherever it was sitting in the vault somewhere. Lock it up, put it away. Children of the Corn as a franchise honestly, I think it's one of the worst horror franchises. There's tons of movies. And none of them are, I don't even like the original. I don't like any of them. But this one is so bad. And then there's this, spoiler alert, there's this monster at the end. It's like made out of grass. It looks like, I mean, it's probably corn leaves or whatever. I don't know. But he just looks like a big grass monster. And it's very terrible. There's one good kill in it. So that's the only reason I didn't get up and leave that one. All right. And my number 1 worst movie. And I don't know how I made it through this thing. This has been my worst movie since January. When I saw it, I penciled it in as my least favorite of the year. And I just dared every movie that came out after to beat it. Nothing could beat it. And that's going to be Skinamarink. I don't consider this a movie. It's not a movie. It doesn't have a narrative. It is another one that's very experimental, lo-fi horror. They use all these buzzwords. It's trash. They have subtitles for the dialogue because it sounds all muffled. Like the audio it's intentionally bad. There's nothing scary. It's never scary. Nothing scary happens. It's just shots. Literally, there's shots in this movie where it's just like a ceiling or like a corner, like a fan, like a ceiling fan for like 15, 20 seconds. And they'll show like a toilet. Oh my God. I absolutely hate this movie. If I never watch it again, I will have a happy life. It's a horrible, horrible movie. If you like that one, good on you. I hated it. We'll never watch it again. It's terrible. So those are my bottom 10 of the year. That's going to be Divinity, Bottoms, She Came from the Woods, The Marvels, Exorcist Believer, Beau is Afraid, Asteroid City, Fool's Paradise, Children of the Corn, and Skinamarink. My least favorite movies of the year. I will be back next week with my top 10 favorite movies of the year. So until then, take it easy.